In this video, we are going to learn about the topic branches of psychology. When we talk about branches of psychology, we are basically talking about the scope of psychology in various fields. Each field of psychology represents a specific area of study which focuses on a particular topic. Oftentimes, psychologists specialize in one of these areas as a career. So, here we are going to learn about some of the major branches of psychology. The first branch is cognitive psychology. In this branch, our mind is considered as a computer. So, it is more like an information processing system where the informations are giving in, which is encoded, the input is given and then it processes in our mind or brain, and the same information which is being processed are given as output as a receptive mechanism. So, the input, then processing it, then output like a computer. This is how cognitive psychology is close to mind or information processing system or like a computer. Let us look into the definition. Investigates mental processes involved in acquisition, storage and manipulation and transformation of information received from the environment. So, acquisition here means the input, acquiring the information, and then storage. We store, like in a refrigerator, we store the information and then processes it, that is manipulation, and then transform it and give as output. So, this is what the cognitive psychology is, and it also collaborated with some different branches or disciplines like neuroscience and computer science, etc. The next branch is biological psychology. As the name suggests, a lot of students used to ask this question: why do we study biology in psychology? What is the role of biology, studying biology in psychology? Why do we learn the human brain or the human endocrine system or the genetics, all these things in psychology? What is their role? This is a very relevant question. If we do not understand our physiology, our body, how will we apply it in psychology? So, for us to apply, we need to first know our physical reactions, and then we can transform it into psychological reactions. So, this is where the biological psychology comes into picture. Let us see the definition. It focuses on the relationship between behavior and the physical system. Biological psychology focuses on the relationship between behavior and the physical system. It also talks about a similar field which is known as neuropsychology. In neuropsychology, it studies about the nervous system and about the neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are the chemical substances which help us to deal with our mental processes. If they are not balanced, some abnormalities or mental illness happens. So, this is the result of our thinking or our genes. So, the definition of neuropsychology: it studies the role of neurotransmitters and their association with mental processes. Neuropsychology studies the role of neurotransmitters and their association with the mental processes. Now, let us move on to the next branch, that is developmental psychology. As the name suggests, development basically deals with the age-wise transition of some different processes. So, intelligence develops in a particular age of when a particular age starts, and cognition develops in a particular age. A variable of psychology is intelligence. So, and then it moves on. So, a child, the first 5 years of a child's life is where the intelligence develops, and then thereafter it keeps on progressing till 15 years. Okay, this is development. So, when we talk about adolescence, we talk about infancy. In fact, we talk about the prenatal stage. even before a fetus come into this world, or before an infant actually come into this world, this process of development starts. So our different processes like our memory develops, our creativity develops, our intelligence develops, our problem solving develops. Okay, so it is across ages. So the infancy, then childhood, then adolescence, then young adult, then the middle age, then the old age. All these stages are studied under this branch, developmental psychology. We actually focuses on, or especially we focus on the adolescents, and when we also focuses on the old age, because they also have so many needs which we are catered to, we need to take care of. So we give focus, or we specialize in adolescence and also in old age or elderly people. So the definition of developmental psychology is: studies the physical, social and the psychological changes that occur at different stages of life. It studies the physical, then social and the psychological changes that occur in the different stages of life, from the infancy, all stages of infancy, childhood, adolescence, young adult, then middle age, then old age. So all these stages are studied under this topic, developmental psychology. Now let us move on to the next topic or next branch, that is social psychology. Social psychology deals with society. The sociology and social psychology are quite similar. A lot of psychology processes are handling here, for instance attachment, aggression, then motivation in a societal setup, and all kind of helping behavior. So all these behaviors are studied under this deals in this topic of social psychology. So the definition of social psychology is: it explores how people are affected by their social environments, how people think and influence others. So this is what is dealing in social psychology. And social attitudes are also studied in this social psychology, the attitudes with relation to our culture and also our society. That is what is studying in social psychology. Then let us move on to the next branch, that is cross cultural and cultural psychology. Every culture has its unique feature. For example, India has its unique feature of bonding in relations, bonding with the relatives, and US has a unique feature of individuality, their own success. Okay, and Japan has its own feature of hardworking people. So each culture has its own perspective, and we need to understand this. An individual born in a particular culture, how he will be groomed, how his socialization be, how his individualization be. So all these comes under this cross cultural and cultural psychology. This is a very beautiful branch, because when you go out to different cultures, when you explore different cultures, definitely you can deal with or you can interact with how you will know how to interact with these different cultures, how what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Also all this comes under cross cultural psychology, and the definition is: it examines the role of culture in understanding behavior, thoughts and emotions. Examines the role of culture in understanding behavior, thoughts and emotions. Next one is environmental psychology. Now you might be thinking, what is the role of environment in psychology? How is it related? It is very much related. For instance, think of an instance of road rage in summers. In summers, when you have an instance of hitting with another car, would definitely result in a lot of aggression. Even it may lead to murders. To that extent, aggression comes out. So this is where we need to understand this environmental psychology, the physical setting. If it is too hot, the physical setting or the environmental condition is not comfortable, will you be able to study? No. So this is our physical setting and our environment, our climate, our temperature, the surroundings around us, all these matters. Okay. And the definition of environmental psychology is studies the interaction of physical factors such as temperature, humidity, etc. on human behavior. So how our human behavior is affected by this environmental factors, physical factors such as temperature, humidity, etc. For example, in case of impact of tsunami and impact of any other natural calamity on human behavior, how those people are dealt with, how they will manage, how their physical setting be after this natural calamity. So all the rehabilitation, the counseling, all of this comes under this topic, environmental psychology. Now next is health psychology. Now how health is related to psychology. For example, you are going to a doctor and you sit with 1 hour, and then another doctor who just checks out and then asks some few symptoms, then writes a prescription and you moves out. So which doctor would you will prefer going to? The first one, obviously, because he gave you time, he heard you, he understood your problems and he handled you accordingly. So the time and the care the doctor given you is what you will prefer. So here is where the health psychology comes into picture, and which specializes in some special cases like patients which are suffering from terminal illness like AIDS, HIV. They need some special care, they need counseling, they need somebody to understand their problems, what they are going through, what they are facing, all these things. They need somebody to listen to them. Okay, they need counseling and all, and health psychology deals with all these things. Those health psychologists give strength to them how to face all these problems. So it focuses on the role of psychological factors in the development, preventions and treatment of illness. Even in hospital, every hospital is supposed to have a psychologist who can cater to their stress they are facing, their anxiety or their tensions. The patients are facing and to handle them. Starting with the treatment, the diagnosis, any kind of problems they are facing. It could be physical illness or it could be mental illness. For mental illness, the psychologists are deputed in the hospitals and clinics to take care all the problems of the patients. So that is where the health psychology comes into picture. And the next one is clinical and counseling psychology. So clinical psychology deals in a clinical setting. Clinical setting in the sense identification of the problem or the treatment of the problem in a clinical setting, and any kind of serious illness. They are basically studying theoretical principles and the skills they are applying in therapies. So this is what they do in the clinics. Deals with the causes, treatments and prevention of different types of psychological disorders. It deals with the causes, treatments and prevention of different types of psychological disorders. So this clinical psychologist deals in a clinical setup. And about the counseling psychologists, they deal with the less serious issues, whereas the clinical psychologists deal with the serious issues, serious illness, serious treatments. Counseling psychologist deals with the less serious issues such as the emotional and motivational problems of children and other problems like career career counseling and marital problems, all those things. They deal with the problems of day-to-day life, which are not very serious. Next is industrial psychology or organizational psychology. In this basically deals with a particular MNC, let's say a multinational organization, where psychologist takes the workers through psychological testing, and they select them which are best suited for the job profile, and they also deal with the problems or gives training in leadership management, then best performance, and also stress management, and they also gives counseling. And this organizational psychologist deals with the problems of work oriented problems. So all these are the things the organizational psychology deals with. It deals with the workplace behavior including workers and the organizations. Now let us move into the next branch, that is educational psychology. Here any kind of instructional methods, the way your teacher teaches you, or any kind of researches that is required in the way of education is framed. All this comes under educational psychology. It helps in developing things which are actually helpful to people who are learning at all ages. Educational psychology deals with the things which are helpful for the people who are learning at all ages. And the similar field which is related to educational psychology is school psychology. This school psychology is related deals with the school settings. In this, they focuses on the designing programs that promote intellectual, social and emotional development of children, including those of special needs. So they deal with the management and the children and with the parents and all the special needs of the children. School psychology deals with. Then we move on to sports psychology. Many sports psychologists are associated with cricket teams. Why are they there? What is their role? They motivates the players, and their role is to motivate the players and give the or take the best out of them, their performance. And they this will happen when they reduce their anxiety level, their stress level, or their arousal level, and that will happen when they are motivated. So reducing stress, motivating the players. So that is sports psychology deals with. Apply psychological principles to improve sports performance by enhancing their motivation. So this is what sports psychology is, and it was the last one. And other emerging branches of psychologists are here: aviation psychology, space psychology, military psychology, forensic psychology, rural psychology, engineering psychology, managerial psychology, women's psychology, political psychology, and criminal psychology. So it is very fascinating that you have psychology in all the areas. So psychology gives answers to all the questions, and psychologists, as a psychologist, you can select career and can specialize in any of these branches and take as a career. Thank you.